Last story really fast. So, Per, I hope you can help explain this one because I'm still a little all over the place about it. And I know some folks who listen to the show, this is a very big deal. So Nintendo announced an affiliate program for YouTube Let's Play creators, all right, for Mario Kart 8.
Yes.
So it turns out that they're introducing an ad revenue sharing program which will entitle proactive creators, proactive in quotes, of YouTube Let's Play videos to basically get a share of the ad money, the ad revenue.
Yeah.
So Nintendo is essentially, if I'm getting this right, claiming the ad revenue on like Mario Kart 8 videos, for example. You can apply for the affiliate program, and if you get permission from Nintendo, you get a piece of the profit next to Nintendo and Google.
It's not what...
Also, the details of how to sign up and when will be announced in the future. This was just an announcement that it exists.
So it's a step in the right direction, but it's not what YouTubers want, right? So if you're not familiar with how you make money on YouTube, you put content on your channel, you become a partner, and you monetize the views. YouTube sells your views, and you get a cut of the ad revenue, right? You can sign up with an MCN. That's like a bigger network of sites that affiliate together, and then those guys sell your ads. So actually, IGN used to do that too, right? We had 20 affiliates, and we would sell the ads. If you don't sell them, then YouTube fills the rest of the inventory, and you get a cut. And the size of the cut depends on how much sold through your pre-roll ad inventory was. Now, what Nintendo's proposing is saying, okay, you sign up with us. And maybe if you're chosen, we will give you a cut of the revenue, but Google still takes half, right? Mm-hmm. Which means you're not getting what you would have gotten if you created a video of, say, The Elder Scrolls or Titanfall.
Yep.
You're definitely getting less because you chose to cover a Nintendo product.
And Nintendo has stepped on Let's Play creators' toes and YouTubers before, where they claimed ad revenue on a bunch of videos a couple years ago, and it angered a lot of people, or at least those people.
So I hope I didn't lose you with the long explanation. But the basic point is that you can create YouTube content with games, and the game creators absolutely own the copyright, for the content that you're broadcasting. Mm-hmm. You can argue I'm using the content in a different way, therefore it's fair use, but it's kind of a feeble case, right? Like if EA said, hey, those guys are broadcasting Titanfall, they're not supposed to, YouTube will absolutely let them claim the views, right? But most publishers like it because they see it as marketing. They know a game is not an experience that is just about watching, therefore let people watch it. Maybe they'll love it and they'll buy the game. And so a lot of YouTube creators also see their job as, I'm actually doing them a favor in marketing.
Yeah, that's right.
It's not as cut and dried as that.
Well, I mean, I don't want to justify their actions against YouTubers. So I think it was pretty preposterous. It actually reminded me a lot of the early 80s when they hit hard on the Blockbuster videos and rental services and stuff like that, because they figured that these places were cutting away from their profits.
Yeah, from sales.
But there are a lot of people that don't play video games anymore because of sites like YouTube and Twitch. There are people that just go and watch games. And I don't know if that translates really as much to a game like Mario Kart. I think Mario Kart will always sort of be one of those things where you can watch it, it's really fun, but you also have to just kind of play it.
It's a lot more fun to play than to watch,
but
especially in a party setting.
It is, absolutely.
Yeah.
But I do see justifiably how some publishers are worried. People who make predominantly short single-player campaign games, you can kind of sit down and be like, I'm going to watch Modern Warfare from start to finish in 3 hours, and I'm never going to buy it. I'm never going to play it. So I hear a lot more nowadays from especially people in the YouTube comments and comments on IGN. I'm not going to rent this. I'm just going to watch it on Twitch.
Beyond Two Souls, like games like that where you have like the set storyline and you can watch it and actually enjoy it without playing it, there's definitely risk there. I totally agree. And, I don't think it's that big of a deal if a publisher claims the views for the cutscenes, right? But when your experience of playing the game is completely different from somebody else, I feel like it's a little bit of a different story, right? And like fair. Somebody like a speedrunner or somebody who's amazing at Mario Kart, the content becomes that person's skills or that person's narration. And so that's where I feel like the claiming can be a little odd. And I think this is growing pains for Nintendo, right? We talked last week about growing pains in the online market, and this is how they deal with content on the web. And they've gone through the same things with us, with the media, right? Where at one point they said, oh, no, you shouldn't host any of our trailers. Like, okay, are you sure that's a good idea, right? And so they've dialed back on that kind of stuff as well. I'm curious to see where this goes. I wonder if they are actually liberally claiming all these clips, or if it's just a certain type of content that they object to, more of the kind of like the cutscene and you're giving away the story type deal.
Yeah, and we've seen that happen with Twitch. I don't know if we mentioned it, but on Twitch, if you're streaming certain, PS4, or I think it applies to Xbox One as well, during cutscenes, it basically goes to like a screen where folks can't see what's happening. I don't think they can even hear it, maybe.
Yeah.
And it's just their way of protecting certain things about the game that they just don't want. They would rather people have bought it to experience rather than see that. So they can't control that on YouTube, by the way, with narrative-based games.
It's what you said. They've been around for so long, and they're sort of like, they're brilliant, but they're also kind of this giant lumbering company.
Yeah.
We've been around for a long time at IGN. I know how sometimes it takes time to get some big decisions moving or something like that.
Or sometimes there's, a Smash Brothers tournament happening at EVO, for example, like a year ago, and then they said, no, you can't have that.
But so maybe that's just a matter of, like, when I was a kid, I would be like, Dad, can I have $5? And he'd be like, absolutely not. But then like, a couple weeks would go by, and I'd be like, Dad, can I have $5? And he'd be like, yeah, sure. And I would appreciate it more because he said no the first time. Yeah. So maybe they do a thing where they shoot things down and they come around and it makes you like them a little better.
On the EVO example, they came around real fast. Within a couple of hours, they were like, sorry, whoops.
And there's actually one scenario where this could be a good thing, right? If Nintendo actually built up a sales force internally, right? They're looking at new ways to make money. Maybe ad sales is one of them, right?
Like the Mercedes thing?
Yeah, maybe. No, they've always had that kind of partnership stuff. But they let's say they set up a sales force and they say, okay, we are going to sell sponsorships around people competitively playing Smash Brothers against each other on YouTube. We're going to claim all those views. You can become a partner. But guess what? Our CPM, so the amount of money you make per every 1,000 views, is higher when it runs through Nintendo than when it runs through YouTube general sales, right? Because they're direct selling. So there is a scenario where you might be able to make more money with them than directly through Google. But I just don't see them as being a big media sales team. And let's not forget, Nintendo doesn't want ads for PlayStation and Microsoft games running on their games. And so that also now will cut into the revenue, because when Nintendo controls that inventory, they're going to limit the types of advertisers that will appear, I assume, right?
Yeah.
Whereas when Google sells it, there's really no limit.
That's right.
And so I think it's 100% bad news for YouTubers. It's good that they're thinking about letting at least people monetize part of the inventory instead of just saying, hey, we're going to turn everything off. But this is not going to work, right? It just means people are going to play fewer Nintendo games on YouTube, and that's probably not a good thing.
Yeah. No, the marketing helps.